Hello everyone. Today we have with us Sri Bharadwaj Rangan, a synonym to film appreciation and film studies. Talking to Bharadwaj ji is renowned national award-winning film critic and author Sri Shanmughadas ji. Talking about Bharadwaj ji, he has done extensive conversation with Mani Ratnam ji, and whose film Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 is being celebrated across the globe now. This could be one among the series of conversations that Bharadwaj ji and Shanmughadas ji would be having for Media Mathamgi. Welcome to part 1 of this conversation.
Let me just begin by saying that, I'm after many attempts at trying to make this happen, I'm finally glad that this has happened. And again, I want to thank Ashish Menon for facilitating this conversation with Mr. Shanmughadas, because it's from his very his interest in cinema, as I kind of gradually realized when I googled up and read a lot of his work, is something that is a lesson for people like us and for even like younger generations, because that generation, the way they loved and worshipped cinema is totally different. And because cinema was a genuine art form and not something that people saw in 10-minute bits on their mobile phone, so it is indeed a very, very big privilege to be here in conversation with you, sir.
I'm a petty guy who would be flattered to listen to such words, not like which word, equanimity or sthitapratna kind of person. So I'm really very happy to be with you, though not in physical terms or physiological terms. You had been writing regularly in the Hindu Daily.
Yeah.
That my friend Neelan, a film critic, used to say, things have changed terribly. That is what he used to say. If there is one printing mistake, spelling mistake in the Hindu, many readers would die that moment, heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm very happy, really very happy to be with Bharadwaj Rangan, very prominent critic. This is my first question. This is our first question. Right now, what words you have to give to us, me too, and also to other friends listening to this, about your experience as an interviewer, interviewing people?
First of all, thank you for pursuing this interview and making this happen. Like I said, it was just a question of timing, and I'm glad we got that right. And as regards your question, as an interviewer, as somebody who interviews other people, I have found it immensely satisfying, because I basically like to observe people. And for example, if you ask the same question to 10 different people, they will give you 10 different answers. It could be a question as simple as, how do you handle failure? Or how do you handle success? Or how do you choose a script? It could be even like the question might sound almost banal, but everybody gives you a different answer. And from there, you pick up things that can lead to more interesting zones. So that is the process. For me, the process of making a film, or the process of acting, or the process of technical, like cinematography or something, everything, the process is the most interesting thing for me, rather than the end result.
Rather than the product.
Yeah, the process is always. So when people talk well about the process, it is immensely satisfying for me. As for being interviewed, thankfully, it has not happened too often. But I hope that I'm able to impart as much about my own process as I expect from other people. when I interview them.
Now the sub question. The interviewer is now being interviewed.
Yeah.
Would you be able to say something about that, the experience of being questioned, or with a kind of John F. Arc trial, like that? What could be your experience? How could you say? How could you add something to what you have already said?
Sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Oh, yeah, no, please.
Yeah. No,
One second. We were, myself and Ashish, we were with Adu Gopalakrishnan, and I was rather excited that time because I've been writing somewhat regularly about him. In the sense, maybe some 9 articles I've interviewed earlier. And that time, when we were talking about, maybe we were, maybe the first to interview him about Swayamvaram. It could be.
Oh.
Months back in April. That was in Malayalam.
Ah.
Later, somebody commented. That was a lesson to me. He commented. He's trying to show off. He's trying to tell everybody that, he knows those things better than, Adu Gopalakrishnan. Actually, I was doing that, but not really like that. I was also trying to add information. So when I ask you, when I refer to your book or somebody else's book, it is also part of my, doing in the interview to contribute some information. That could be there in the introduction, but instead I thought that could be part of the process of interviewing. That is what I did that time. So please.
No, it is very interesting that you say that, because I got a very, very similar comment when I recently interviewed Maniratnam before the release of Ponniyin Selvan, and instead of talking about the movie much, we ended up talking more about his process and how he has stayed relevant and things like that. And because I brought in a lot of film references, there was a comment that said, I wish you had stuck to the topic instead of trying to show off that you know so much about cinema.
So we are fellow travelers.
Yeah.
We are Ore Tuval Pachigal, birds of the same feather.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not trying to see. The thing is, I've always believed that the more detailed your question, the more detailed your answer. Because if I ask you, how are you? You're going to say fine. But if I tell you that, it's raining now and I know that you have asthma, so how are you? You're going to give me a more specific answer. So I always believe in being a very sharp and specific so that people answer in a specific manner. But I was not trying to show off. For example, I was asking him about, for example, I compared a certain decision that he made with something that Kurosawa did in Red Beard, which is to use very authentic kind of props and all that, and asked if the audience would be able to understand that. This was just my desire to understand whether that kind of authenticity was necessary for a movie. But the person who was commenting said, okay, yeah, we know now that you know Kurosawa, so stop showing off and, so I think this kind of is very interesting. It's because I think cinema has become so democratic, and now everybody after social media has become a cinema expert that...
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
You are in one sense self-trained, you are always in that world, intellectually, emotionally engaged. Am I right?
Yes, I have been this way since I was 14 or 15, and ever since I joined Chennai Film Society, which was then called...
With M. Shivakumar and the other Shashikumar, Asianet Shashikumar.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So the thing is not that. The thing is, because cinema is so democratic, everybody thinks of themselves as being experts, and when they are faced with information that they do not know, rather than trying to know that information, they feel superior by dismissing that information as somebody else showing off or being irrelevant. So the idea is that. So the thing is that curiosity is what keeps you alive, because you want to, a director is opening himself up to you, you want to dig as much as possible into the director's mind and get some information out so that it benefits not just your curiosity and process, but also other people in the industry so that they kind of get a view. Because I'm not saying what I do is social service, but one of the most gratifying things of interviewing has been the number of visual communication students who come and tell me that how nice it is to hear directors talk in their own words about their process, because it acts like a practical to the theory that they learn in college. So
something like a master class.
Something like a master class. And I'm very glad that, I have been able to facilitate something like this that benefits it's not just some something I'm doing for views or, YouTube views or something like that, but something that actually benefits like a film growing population. And I always think of myself as a student, of cinema, because it's like they say of every field. A lot of musicians often say this. It is like an ocean. You can never really see every film. You can never really know every technique. You can never really know every process. So when somebody opens up, even if it is the most commercial of directors doing one masala film or a mass film, there is always something interesting about how they say, I wanted the hero to do this so that in scene 6 they will do this. It's always a learning. So I think that has always been the most gratifying thing.
I agree totally with you. My friend, a Christian priest, who is the director of Chedana College and Chedana Media Institute, on one occasion when I won the award, Satyajit Ray Memorial Award, the second Satyajit Ray Memorial Award, our film society, they organized a meeting. And, on that occasion, Father Benny said one thing about me, and I was very happy to listen to it. This is what he said. Shanmughadas Master would be attending every lecture, every talk, every discussion on cinema. And he would be sitting there like a student, a piece of paper and a pen. So I was a student, I am a student until I die, till the moment I die. I think I will remain a student of cinema. I may be teaching cinema, that's a different thing.
Having referenced Kurosawa and Maniratnamji, because I don't know, I'm not sure, but was it about that Ratchasamama song and the appearance?
In Redbeard, Kurosawa insisted on building the sets using wood that had been aged 100 years.
Oh, yes.
Because he wanted that look. And like in Ponniyin Selvan, they decided that, they said that, in those days, people did not wear metal armors. They wore leather armors because metal would make it very difficult to fight. That kind of detailing, I was just asking him out of curiosity whether the audience would notice that kind of, whether a wood is 100 years old or whether they're wearing metal or leather armors or something like that, because the attention will be more on the fight than the costume that the person is wearing, and that was where the question was going.
Allow me to show off a little, I'm referring to Kieslowski, that could be considered to be a kind of show-off thing. Actually, I had written a book on Kieslowski, actually written, with pen.
Right.
And yes, WRITE. And 2018, the flood was very generous to visit our house also. And 2 books, both manuscripts. One is on Herzog, his documentaries. The other one is on Kieslowski.
Right.
Both the books are now in a particular shape. Nobody else would be able to read it. Maybe if I make an attempt, I may be able to read it. I would like to make a double effort. Now, Kieslowski, I think it was Kieslowski who had said this once. When I find my audience get at least 35% of what I put in the film, they feel happy. The 65% they miss. Okay, but if they are able to get it, no, the 100 people, so one person may get this much, this part, another person may get the other part. So this is what he said. And the role of the critic, I think, I would say that the not the duty, but the function of a critic maybe, is to find out those things. No, the 35%, the rest of it. Whether the critics would be able to know, myself trying to get something from the 65%, my friend Bharadwaj Rangan trying to get something from the, like that. The critics have a very important role to play, I think, in the promotion of a work of art, in the spreading of, the culture of cinema among people in that sense. Yes, please.
I definitely agree with that. I just want to add that
I would be happy if at times you disagree with me and then come out with, other ideas. I'm just generalizing.
Right. So my answer to that is, I think a critic's job is to look at the film and kind of arrive at a conclusion about the various things about the film, which may begin with a narrative design or various technical choices or other things that strike the eye. I would think that watching a film with trying to say I'm going to get the intent of a director is usually a futile exercise, because there are so many things that go into filmmaking, which is such a collaborative art, that we only have as evidence what is on the screen in front of us. So it is our conversation with the film in question, our internal engagement with the film in question, that gives us what the film is about and everything else. Which is why I avoid, before watching a film, I avoid reading everything that a director has to say about a film or an actor has to say, because they will try to tell you that the film is about something, because in their heads it might indeed be about that, but because of various reasons, say the distributor says cut off 20 minutes or whatever it is, it might not reach us the same way that it exists in their heads. The meaning might not reach us the same way. So I always say my engagement with a film is my own. After the film, I might have a conversation with the filmmaker and say, what is this about? What were you trying to do? And all that. But my attempt is always to kind of see how the film speaks to me, rather than to see how the director intended the film to be.
I have a feeling that the work of a critic could also be, in some sense, an attempt to understand the hidden intention of the creative, part of the director. He may say, my intention is this. He may say, my intention was that. But the true critic, or a better critic, may be able to come to a sort of an understanding of the deeper levels of intention.
Right.
The work of art, it may have an intention, maybe independent of its creator.
Yeah.
The artist, what he intended, it could be material. But the work of art, the product intended, in of course, inverted commas, intended. If the critic could arrive at that understanding, it could be a better kind of criticism.
I agree. I'm not dismissing the director's intention altogether, but sometimes I feel I know that the art of creation is, a lot of it comes from the unconscious, and from it is so subliminal that sometimes the director themselves may be unaware of certain choices, because a lot of filmmaking is instinctive. So I think a critic's job is also to kind of look at the film and say, this is what you have done, or this is what you have put on screen, something that might even surprise the director in some ways, because yes, they might say that yes, this does indeed have a similarity to that other thing, which I never thought about. But yes, you're right. It is probably the similar thing or whatever it is. So I think that is also something that one does while reviewing.
I think that suddenly I became conscious of what I am as an interviewer. I must thank that friend who commented against me, because that made me aware of what I'm truly doing. So I would call myself right now Mr. Interrupter. I was about to interrupt you, and the point at which I felt like interrupting was just saying something. Then I was I don't get the proper, but I was disallowed from doing that because of what my unknown, mysterious friend had written. Now, this is that, the idea which came to me. Now, I should thank my friend Ashish. The problem with me is that I never thank people. I do not believe in saying sorry. I do not believe in saying thanks. Instead, I would say santosham.
Yeah.
I'm yet to find a proper word. Now I remember. Now I remember when I was about to say something, interrupt. You said something about a film is made by a number of people. You said, how many people? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly I remembered a quote from a book. It's a book of interviews. The title of the book is SCORE, Score.
Okay.
SCORE. Score, who edited, I don't remember. In that book of interviews, the interviews are with Hollywood music composers.
Wow.
It's a very good book. I saw that book in 2004 when Rasool Pokutti came to Thrissur to take part in a discussion on film music. I accompanied him from Elite Hotel to the venue, and he had this book with him. And I just, bought it from him and just tried to understand what the book is. And I told my friend, this seems to be a good book, interviews, but I did not have enough money to buy it. Then when I once visited Chalakudi, Ashish Manon gave me the copy of that book as a gift. And in that book of interviews, somebody had made this comment. I suddenly remembered that when you said about a film being made by a number of people, so many people involved in it. It is this. A film. No, it's not film. They never use the word film. You know that Americans. To them it is motion picture, to them it is movies. Film, I think British people use it. We people may use it. I use the word film more often. Now this is the quote. Movies are not made by a committee of 3, but by a committee of 3,000. And that was revealing to me. Everybody, within cause, Tom, Dick, and Harry, what other people would say. Nasruddin Shah, when I interviewed him on one occasion, he said the same thing. That particular, I interviewed him when the film Hunt was being shot. During the breaks, he told me, come, interview me. And I interviewed him that way. Then look at that gentleman carrying that, wooden block. He's also making this film. That is what he said. So I remembered that quote from the book Score, which actually, in one sense, Rasool Pokutti gifted to me. I do not know Tamil. I know Tamil from having listened to songs. I know Tamil from my name being Shanmughadas. Actually, I'm not a Tamilian.
Okay.
My father is a devotee of, Shanmugha. So every year, from childhood, he used to take us there. So I know a little bit of Tamil, Now, of course, nowadays from Tamil songs. Ponar Povutta Boda in the Varvil, I don't remember that now. Arada, Nilayai Arada, okay then.
Nilayai Vazhvathu Yarada.
Yeah, nobody remains here forever.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
You have to leave. Nilayai.
Yeah.
Right. My wish is that I could make you talk on Tamil songs one episode.
Sure.
These days I have translated a letter written by Namukurama to his son in English. Rachan Magana Ichakata, as it was published. I have interviewed maybe 200 or maybe 100 plus interviews. One of the interviews which I treasure right now, which Mani Kaul did not permit me to, he said no, because that was a sort of a, it was a strain that was maybe 1980 or so. I said that, Mr. Mani Kaul, you had once said that, he said, no, I never said that. And I said, these are not the exact words, he said. I said, Mr. Mani Kaul, I have proof what you have said. And in my satchel, this cloth, this Tunisanji, I took out Sunday Observer. I think that is a tabloid, like not the Calcutta kind of thing, but this is from Delhi, from Bombay. I took it out. It's a detailed interview. In that interview, you have said something to the effect. That interview, I still remember just one quotation from that interview. Maybe because I had been quoting it ad nauseum. I remember just one quotation from that interview. Not the words he said in general. He quoted John Cocteau, the director who directed The Blood of the Poet and Orpheus.
Orpheus, yeah. And
it is not Orpheus, right? You are right. It is Orphe, O-R-P-H-E-E. I said Orpheus. It's not Orpheus, O-R-P-H-E, Blood of the Poet. Also, he wrote a book, number of quotes, I think. And Mani Kaul was quoting from that book. Which is that book? He has written a book on cinema. And it is like that Kurosawa book, the last part. His quotations, you remember that. The first part is he wrote about his experiences till the making of Rashomon. And the rest of it is a number of quote-like things by him. Now, this is the quote. It's one of the Aptavakyams in my life as a reader, as a writer. This is it. Cocteau, John Cocteau. Poetry comes out through the cracks of continuity. I used to, quote this in my classes on cinema, and I used to connect it to editing. The sentence was on poetry, but I used to connect it to editing. I don't know whether I've been doing it wrongly. That interview is a very important interview to me. That interview is still with me, but I intend to get it published.
Yeah.
What I would do is, I would delete that part. What made him offended, what made him say no to it was just that part. I will not use it. I honor his wish. And I know that what he did not like, why he said no, is just because of this part.
Right.
He's somebody whom I respect very much. Dear friend, I think I can tell you that from experience of having listened to you, of having talked to you for maybe half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. We would all be happy, that is myself and Ashish and my friends who are watching this, and our friends all over India, and if I dare to say all over the world, would be happy if Mr. Bharadwaj Rangan talk about his favorite interview. Which interview? He has done a number of interviews. Which one of those you would taste first? Or one or two? It could be, two about being, in Kerala, that is being fashionable. Sharing, 2 films. Okay.
I would say, off the top of my head, it is the interview that I had with the actor and filmmaker S.J. Surya. I mean,
1 minute.
like everybody knows.
My ignorance could be, short off. Let me show it off. Is he an actor, Tamil actor?
Yeah, actor and filmmaker. He has recently been known as an actor. He was in films like Manadu and Monster and all those movies.
I have not seen those films. I think I saw him in one of the films. Which one is that? I used to show that song. Om Shivoham. Om Shivoham.
No. That is not the actor.
Oh.
So that is Arya.
Arya. Yeah, right.
Okay. Because what started off as a like a conversation about cinema went into a deeply philosophical journey about life and learning and falling and getting up again and learning to pursue something. And it was incredible because I just set aside my set of questions and was just going from what he gave me, and then he was taking from what I was giving him. And it was this almost like we were both, playing some kind of mental tennis after some time. It was not a question and answer session. And that is one of the interviews that was hugely satisfying.
Why do you say satisfying? Can you explain that?
Yeah. So usually people just give you, he was very open. He was very, very honest about his failures, his attempts to do things that did not work out. And it finally was very inspirational because he had so much of positive energy despite, like everything else. And how he has managed to find a place again in cinema, that it was a very, very inspiring interview and also very difficult one to do because you had to be in the zone of where he was rather than go per a set of pre-prepared questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bharadwaj, for having given me a bit of information which will make me watch his films. It is possible that I've seen some of his films. Maybe I do not remember it right now, but I will watch that film. And
you might want to see Manadu.
Manadu. Okay, then I will watch Manadu.
Yeah.
And whenever you are free, you will be back.
Yes.
To talk about, to listening to you talk about Ponniyin Selvan.
Yes. And thank you, Ashish, for the first of what I hope will be many conversations. And I will see you all soon.
So much, Bharadwaj. Thank you.
So goodbye. Goodbye till we meet again.
Yes.
Goodbye,
thank you.
Language. Goodbye, Mr. Bharadwaj Rangan. We will meet.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Indeed, wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Please do subscribe to Media Mathamgi. Thank you.